So hey, we're gonna go live at 10 with Matt from Costa Rica. He was up 5 hours ago, probably reinventing the universe as we know it, and wanted to see if we could push to 10. So he might still be sleeping. But one thing I know about Matt, he started because he works really, really hard. He lives in Costa Rica, so he started just like randomly going out into the ocean and snorkeling like on the regular. If you live in Costa Rica and you don't do that, you're a crazy person.
We're gonna go live.
You're gonna definitely want to mute that, you mother. Anyway, we're dealing with this. We've got a solution for that down the road. Anyway, so Matt's gonna be coming pretty soon, but we've got a long list of things that we wanted to chat about anyway. If you're listening to this, throw your wax address in the comments. I am like on deck. I'm gonna be giving out some Uplift Art NFTs. And maybe some other ones too. I think I got a few other bags that might need some lightening up. And yeah, let's roll. Let's do it.
I just really like hearing you harmonize with yourself. That's why I do it intentionally every week.
Oh, right. Doesn't sound as good as when it's intentional, but all right. Okay.
So yeah, hopefully he joined soon. Yeah, but Matt's cool. You and I both kind of know him in different capacities, but Matt is kind of my origin story to being, involved in crypto as more than just a person who speculates or buys coins or, invests, any of those above. So I joined a content competition from Tribe way back in the day, and I didn't win. And if you've read anything that I wrote, you should know that I should win.
Is that a healthy understanding of your own value?
So, I'll just leave that out there. Most of the stuff that I write, you will never even know that I write it. Let's just leave it that way. But yeah, so I had been spending a lot of time in the Telegram community because I thought Tribe was great. I still think Tribe is great. And if you haven't been on Tribe in a while, go back there. Like, go back there right now. Clear your cache. Go back there. They had major updates that are awesome. There's no longer waiting for posts to be posted. They get posted directly right away. They've fixed this. They've added a search function so you can search by category. They've added a bunch of little things at the bottom of the post where you can directly post to more sites. It used to be only Twitter and LinkedIn. I'm pretty sure that Chirp is coming very soon as well, because as you know, Tribe has a channel on Chirp that you can be rewarded in coins for posting on that channel in Tribe. It'll be really cool to check it out if you haven't been there in a while. But anyway, back to the story. Matt, he, like you said, he works really hard and he's a little bit stressed out, and he kind of got a little bit, got a little bit antsy. And he's just like, man, like, he's like, everyone's asking me why I didn't win. And I was kind of like, well, everyone's not Jimmy D. You know what I mean? Like, but actually, my article was like, maybe I probably shouldn't have won, to be honest. But I was pretty proud of my article. It was the first. It was kind of like the second crypto article I ever wrote. The first one I talked about last night a little bit was permaculture and blockchain. Horrible grammar, by the way, but like, the article was pretty solid. This one was about Stellar. They wanted us to write about Stellar, and I decided that I was going to write about Stellar in the first person. Maybe I'll link the article sometime in one of these posts, but it was pretty cool. Like, I just talked like, I'm a 3-year-old talking about if I were a banana, but it was, about Stellar. So it was kind of pretty cool. And Matt was just like, he came to me after and he's like, man, it's just like, I'm sorry, like, but it's just like, really, like, everyone just thinks that they should win. They just all want free shit. And we've experienced that, you and me as well in this system, right? I mean, we're all for giving out cool stuff, but there's a lot of people who don't deserve free shit. So let's just leave it at that. But anyway, basically, I came on as a guest judge for one of these Tribe content competitions, and I used that platform to write a bunch of philosophical treatises and historical kind of things, and eventually got involved in Tribe in a bigger capacity. Met some amazing people that have now moved on to other projects. I mean, I think Matt's still involved in a variety of other projects. A couple people that, ported over to other networks like UX, for example. And so it kind of all just, thanks, Nelson. It kind of all just, came together, and it was awesome. And Matt's one of those people that, like, just in my opinion, became almost like a lifelong friend just because of that experience working with him. It's going to be the same with you, Corey. I mean, even if this show goes off air, it's like, I'm going to, I might space out for a month or two. We might get busy, but I'm always going to come back to you. And I'm always going to say, hey man, like, how's it going? Like, I'm sorry it's been so long, but with friends, it doesn't matter how long it's been,
Right. And I think we're going to be doing this for a while. I hope anyway, because I think just what's already happened, being able to meet all of these people and chat with them and get to connect with them, and all of that is cross-pollinated into more ideas for dropping tunes, more ideas for articles, more ideas for the show, more ideas. I mean, the whole the Uplift.World project came from getting an understanding of what's kind of wanted and what might be interesting in this space, talking to all these people at once. So like that, if we do this for a year, I mean, it's basically world domination next.
And Alien World is essentially our testing ground, right?
Yeah, well, that between that and even in like our planet as an example, right? Like the Alien Worlds is it's basically just like mining stuff and getting and like looking at that 2D map on Alien Worlds, and then it was like going from that 2D map and on Alien Worlds, and we had just finished creating the Dynamap version for the world we were creating before, just for fun. And like, these things are not the same, number one, because this 2D map is live and it's good and it's 3D and things are happening on it, none of which goes on with Alien Worlds, right? Although I think like it would surprise me if they didn't add a layer on down the road. And oh, by the way, you could do that inside the Uplift, and I'll cut you a deal to make that happen very quickly and easily. Wink, wink. Why the hell wouldn't you do that? I mean, they might have a better idea. If they're freaking geniuses, they could totally do it on their own for sure without our help. But yeah, I mean, that it just, and then suddenly the number of actions that you can actually accomplish in a Minecraft layer is just mind-boggling. It's completely insane.
Yeah, so actually we just got off, so some of you were there, but you might catch it back. That was just old school. Jimmy and Corey decided to jump on and do something fun that we want to do, because I mean, if you're not doing something fun that you want to do, then I said to you when you came to me with this idea, it's like, hey, do you want to do this? And we did it, and then it was kind of cool, and then we did it again, and it was kind of cool, and then we were like, are we good? Like, we don't know. Like,
it's fun.
Like it's possible that I'm talking too much. It's possible we're cutting each other off. It's possible that we're not even on the same page. And we heard back from people, yeah, we like watching you. And we're kind of like, well, that's kind of a relief. But even if people didn't like watching us, we're going to do it again anyway, because it's just fun. Like, that's kind of.
Yeah. Legit, though. Guys, share this thing out. Let's get some more people in here this time. And I want to give away some NFTs. Yeah. So post your wax address. Tell us where you shared. Share to multiple places. I'll keep cutting Jimmy off.
And tag Rika.
I'm going to keep cutting Jimmy off.
I like it. Tag Rika Crypto. Yeah. So we got some cool shit to talk about. I actually want to if you want to talk about something, but I told you what I wanted to share. Would now be a good time to do that, maybe?
It's funny. Okay, let's start. I don't think we even I talked about this, but I just responded to Market Cap One, who in a fit of pique said, screw it, I'm leaving EOS. This is terrible. I want to sell. Right. And I think they might be second guessing, because I mean, I think they got offered like a freaking crate of eggs to, or like, I think the highest offer officially was like $750 or whatever.
The highest offer I saw was $1, and
yeah. I saw yesterday it was $750. So like, I honestly, like, at 1,000, it would be interesting if we owned it as a show, right? Because like, thinking that EOS is dead, I mean, that's irresponsible. You're not looking at the facts, right? Mm-hmm. Is it as exciting as we all wanted it to be? Like I had a couple grand in the ICO, right? Like that, it's a thing that I would have liked to have seen go down differently. but it didn't, right? And so there's still a lot of things that are getting worked on. And I kept getting the sense, if you've ever seen the Wall Street cheat sheet, if you're anybody who's listening to this, if you're a trader or investor, get this. Just it's an image. Just Google Wall Street cheat sheet and take a look at it. And you basically see like towards the end of market cycles, it's like total capitulation, depression. There's no way it's going to happen. Like everything's terrible. And you can read that on Twitter really easily, right? Like max fear is when I start getting very interested in buying. If I can answer one question in the affirmative, is this project still alive? Right? Are things happening? And the answer to that question in EOS is yes. Right? Is it happening instantly? No, but it's definitely happening. Right? Between the B1 stuff, like Dan Larimer quitting, for all we know, he's got like some crazy thing that he wants to build on mainnet, and they weren't letting him do it. Right? We don't know. But there's tons and tons of stuff going on there. And, the interoperability channel, like just the fact that I have to buy EOS to sell to Coinbase anytime I want to get wax out. And, I know there's other ways to do it, but like that for me is the easiest portal. As a pass-through, economically speaking, as a sort of capital flow mechanism for the rest of the EOSIO thing, if that's all EOS ever was, it would not die. And it wouldn't be a stable coin, right? So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm personally of the opinion that the reason Dan left is, I mean, I'm sure he's going to be in and out. I mean, it was funny to me that he posted his resignation on Hive first.
Yeah, what do you think? Do you have any like sort of because I have no idea. Like I don't really know.
I don't know. Maybe he thought it would mitigate it by like, hey, look, I'm still on Hive, so I'll come back to EOS too. I have no idea, honestly. I don't even want to speculate upon it. But I think in the links below, as always, on Thursday, we put together a post for you guys of all the news, the sentiment, the articles, the videos that we kind of feel are important for people to watch. Not overly shilled videos, not overly dark videos. We try to come up with a rounded perspective of good and bad. There's enough of EOS go to moon memes, which are sometimes funny, and you'll sometimes find them in the sentiment part. But we want to put out that good information for you. And one of the articles that we featured this week was from Dan's private blog, and he basically is putting a book about his political views on sale. So my assumption is probably that his political ideologies were conflicting with the business or the SEC regulations of Block One, and they just decided that parting ways would be happy for everyone. I mean, so I kind of feel like maybe it's a better thing than that. But I'm curious as to why, like the whole market cap one thing, I guess, like people are losing faith. Is that what you were kind of getting at?
Yeah, I mean, when people start, jumping ship at scale, again, like there are projects that ultimately die. Like it is entirely possible for EOS to just stop being a thing. Like that needs to be understood, right? But those things have a flavor. And that flavor is nobody's talking about them in any way, shape, or form. Yeah. Nobody's building on them. Nobody's paying attention to it. Everyone is leaving. Not some people are leaving, right? And so the biggest players in the space are buying EOS. They're moving EOS. They're talking about wrapped Bitcoin on EOS. The smallest players in the space are whining and leaving. That's when I hit the buy button. Yeah. Right. Like I did. I actually added a little bit. And again, like I'm not a huge player. I'm not a whale. I'm not an investor, trainer, whatever. Right. This is just my personal opinion on stuff, caveat, bullshit, whatever. But that, I think it's indicative. Right. And, I'm making the bet that there is a better chance that EOS will go up than down from the floor where it sits right now. And that floor has been really consistent. Right. I think it's really plausible. Now, is it going to moon? I mean, no one can know that. Right. And it would be irresponsible of anyone to really suggest that with any certainty because we don't know. But it seems like a pretty good, bet. Now, do I have like 50 times more in wax? You fucking better believe it. Because I mean, the wax tokenomics model by itself, even if nobody was building on it, the wax tokenomics model is clear. They're burning shit. The amount of wax in the world is going down, basically all the time from being used. Right. And now they got the ETH pass through DeFi thing going on. I got a small position in that. Like it just, and Wax is going crazy like that. My personal thing. So I'll stop this rant in a second here, but like seeing, and this is why we want to talk to Matt. Like Dot is mooning, and great for them, right? It's all a bunch of Ethereum expats, and I think we should totally talk about projects like their countries. So a bunch of Ethereum expats that went and built this other thing or whatever. That's fine. And what are they delivering? Well, they're delivering a lot of really cool white papery stuff, and it's a good ICO, right? And I wanted to ask him like, what's actually getting built, because he'll know, right? Like there might actually be things that are actually happening on Dot that I can't see, that I don't know about yet, and so he'll have a good beat on that. But Wax is producing business activity, people buying and selling shit at scale that is going to swamp what Ethereum is capable of, because gas fees and all that other bullshit. And they're every day, every single day that Wax is under point or 5.5 cents is a present. It is a gift. Stack that shit. This rant is over.
Yeah, I like it on all levels. I mean, I think it's good if you rant one day a week, because I don't want to monopolize that.
Right, so you do 4, and like I'll just do 1.
Yeah. So
Nelson, this is exactly what I do. He said I use Coinbase to buy EOS and then send it to my Token Pocket wallet, where I change it to Wax and then send to my Wax Cloud wallet. I use actually Token Pocket is exactly what I used last time.
Yeah, it's probably one of the easiest mobile interfaces you can find, and
it just works, right? So it's going to be interesting when speculators start to decide to value actual economic activity over hype, which may never happen, right? Like hype is that's the kind of energy that that retail speculators, and by that I mean people that are not sophisticated at trading, like me, like I was all the way through 2016, 2017. I wasn't thinking in terms of value. I was looking at a stock and at a chart for a thing, and if number go up, Corey buy. Like that was the whole thing, right? It was not rocket science at all. You could throw a dart at the market back then and make a lot of money, right?
I should probably just start telling people in this channel when I sell shit, and then like they can buy it because it's going to move. Like that's about
okay. I mean, that's good correlative function. And this is the thing: like most people will always do it exactly wrong because we're rigged like hyper intelligent monkeys to do it, right? There's really cool studies on this, based on exactly that.
I agree with you when it comes to traditional trading, but not crypto. And I'll give you a great example, right? Like all the crap that was coming out about Satoshi. I had a little bit of, not very much, but I had a little bit of Bitcoin Cash when they forked. I watched my friends, trade a little bit when it was bouncing around, and there was all those hash wars and stuff. And then like the price kind of came down, it kind of like bottomed out. I thought, well, there's no point in selling it. Like I've still got my old Bitcoin Cash. I got the new Bitcoin Cash, little amount. It's not a big deal. And, my friend always says, you got to cut your losses. Don't hold it on to something until it goes to zero. And I'm like, it's a fork coin. And I like, you know what? Then all these legislation things came out. And I'm just like, you know what? Like, I'm kind of tired of Craig Wright anyway, just listening to him. And like, even if I lose it all, like, I don't really care anymore because this is just getting stupid now. Like, sorry, it's my personal opinion. So I sold it all. And the next day, the price like quadrupled 100x, like back up to where it was. And I'm just like, actually, you know what? I'm happy. I'm happy I don't have to watch this price anymore. I don't have to follow it. It's like, good lesson learned. Don't invest in projects that I'm not interested in. Like, stop being a speculator. That's kind of what I'm saying. So
yeah, even the swing trading thing, like I don't do that anymore, right? Yeah. So like when I traded all the way through end of 2016, basically all of 2017, and I come from sort of Forex trading world. It was like decent at it, not like extra special good or anything. Just I had a higher than 50% win rate, which is all you really want, right? It means you can grind out and make a little income at it. And so you bring that over to the crypto space and like literally you throw a dart at something. My first trade I made 700% and lost my fucking mind. I was like, what is happening? This is that just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. And it was in days. It wasn't like in a few months. It was like this happened in 3 days. So I was totally freaked out and I traded nonstop for a year. My buddy came in and I think he came in about 3 or 4 months after me. He put in exactly the same amount of money. He bought a bunch of shit. He did literally nothing. He made 10% less than me. Right. And remember, I made 700% on my first trade.
Yeah.
That whole year, all of my work accounted for an extra 10%.
Yeah.
It is not worth it. You're not as smart as you think you are, and you should just buy and hold shit. Because look at the annual lows for Bitcoin. That's like anyone thinking about investing in this space. Look at the nothing else, but the annual lows in Bitcoin, and stay to the large market cap if you want, or if you're super passionate about a project like Wax, get in there and plan on being in it for 5 years and walk the fuck away, and you're gonna make money.
Yeah, and I think we all make mistakes. We all do dumb shit. And especially when you first get into crypto.
Yeah.
You see all of these people around you that are making money. And this is you were talking about what happens with sentiment, people buying and people selling. Like everyone's sitting there looking at projects like Ethereum, Moon, and they're getting pissed off because they invested all their money in EOS and they're not making any money. Well, number one, this channel is called EOSIO Weekly, but we can honestly say that we have more than EOS. We don't. Yeah. You're just crazy if you don't, right? But at the same time, don't go too far. One of my favorite projects was Zilliqa. They were a really cool project. I thought they were doing some cool stuff. I had a little bit of Zilliqa. They always tell you, keep your coins off the exchange. I pulled my coins off the exchange. I pulled them back to my wallet. I knew the mainnet was coming. I was busy doing other stuff. I signed back in to the wallet and my coins couldn't be moved. And I'm like, what's going on? I contacted the team. They're like, oh yeah, we did an airdrop when we moved to the mainnet, but the airdrop was only done through exchanges. And I'm like, well, is there any way to do that? And they're like, no, it's we did it on purpose that way so that it was only people who were paying attention to the project. Shitty move. I kind of I don't like it. I think it sucks, but I can't blame them. It's my fault for not keeping up with it. You shouldn't be buying stuff and not paying attention. You can't get angry at them. I still like what they're doing. I don't agree with it, right? That's what we want to, or I at least want to teach the world. Stop making other people responsible for your problems. I mean, if you went all in on EOS, if you went all in on Ethereum and it goes to the moon, it's great. But Ethereum could crash and burn at any single point in time. Every single crypto could crash and burn at any single point in time. If you're worried about things not crashing and burning, you should only have Bitcoin and only Bitcoin, because before everything else crashes and burns, that's going to be the last one standing. And it might crash and burn too. Highly unlikely, very highly improbable at this point. But at some point that sentiment might change. That market.
Well, it is the thing. An 80% drop in Bitcoin is coming.
Yeah.
Now, is it going to go to 200K first? Yeah, probably. Right. We just don't know. And so you always have to, again, there's somebody made a meme of it, or a little image. Just search for Bitcoin annual lows and save that, and just pull it out and just just look at it every once in a while, because it is amazing. There's in an 11-year history, there's 2 years where it kind of stayed the same, and the rest of it is basically 5 to 10x every year. It's completely mental. By the way, I want to give this away. Nobody's posted their Wax count all morning, and obviously you guys did on the other show. I gave away a full crate actually of Uplift NFTs to our I don't know if you're a dude or not, but Katsumoto 100. I always want to try and be careful of that. The second I see the good vibes thing, I'm like, the NFT army's here. It's adorable.
I like it. Yeah.
So yeah, throw your Wax count in. Once there's a few, I'm gonna pick somebody to get this. This is an uncommon one. I just want to throw that up there. I have some I've been giving away comments from Uplift Art. I got a few uncommon ones I want to give away today, and I think I got a couple extra Van City Comics ones that I bought the other day that I want to give away too. So.
And shout out to the NFT army. I know you saw this as well, but I interacted with it a little bit. They did an awesome post. They said, don't retweet, don't tag anyone, don't do anything. And if you want, put your Wax count address, and maybe we'll give you something. That was awesome. That was an awesome post. Brilliant. Love it. We dropped our EOSIO Weekly Wax account address in there. I'm sure if we get something, we're probably going to give it away. So it's
a very real possibility. Yeah. Very real possibility. Hey, sorry, Chris. I didn't see that out there. So you know what? I'm just gonna give you this one right now. What? Sorry, what were we talking about?
Yeah, so I think you had a really interesting rant there, story about like when you see hard hands. Colin Talk Crypto is another one. We had a little bit of a chat in a boat that in the uplift that you'll be able to check out again. Schedule for our BP and chill Mondays, because sometimes even we have to do real world shit. But the thing for me is, when I see people, scammers coming out and trying to steal people's crypto, that's when I know that things are like in a bull market. This isn't EOS specific, but I just wanted to share this story that happened to me today. So if now's a cool time, it's pretty quick, but I am associated with a few projects, and one of the projects that I'm associated with is Jenner EOS, and I'm an admin in their channel. And one of my friends who also works for Jenner EOS, he sent me a private message, and he said, I'm going to write a post about this, so you'll be able to see it at some point. But he said, "Hey man, do you have time?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I guess." Like, it's kind of weird time, but okay, sure. I don't usually get messages from him like this. He said, "Yeah, so all my coins are staked, and I kind of have a bit of a financial problem, and I'm wondering, like, can you like send me some money?" And I, like, honestly, like, probably even if it was you, like, Corey, if you sent me a message that said, "I need
super money," weird. Nobody fucking does that.
Yeah. And even if it was you and I thought it was legit, I'd get you on the line here and I'd talk to you, like, and then, like, I don't trust technology, so I'd probably get on a plane and come rescue you myself, Like,
yep.
But anyway, like, all joking aside, the next part of the message was like if you could send me 10 Ethereum, that would greatly help me out. And I'm like, this is weird, but I kind of already knew it was weird before you asked me for 10 Ethereum, because I messaged this all the time, and there were no messages before this, right?
Right.
And so what I did was I went back into the main channel, and I clicked on his name, the one that says admin beside it, because there's no way to fake that shit as far as I know, and his message didn't appear there. So I said, well, fuck it, I'm going to fuck with this guy then. So I went back in and I basically said, because I know this guy is also a custodian on Vigor. I used to, do a little bit of stuff with those guys as well. So I went into the private message. I took a screenshot because, lo and behold, the minute the guy knew I was onto him, he deleted everything. So I took a screenshot and I sent him a message that said, I don't understand why you don't use like a borrow and lending platform. There's tons of them out there. Why don't you use Vigor or one of these other ones? And or maybe your credit rating is shot. Like maybe you're overstretched. That's cool. I kind of get it. Some of these platforms are kind of difficult. So why don't you just deposit 2 PBTC into my account, and then like. My account, so just deposit it there. And in the memo section, why don't you just write "as per your DM"? Once you do that, I'll send you over the 10 Ether, and then we'll be on our way. As the minute the message was read, it was cleared, it was deleted. The account shows up as just a blue circle with like last seen a long time ago. Be careful, people, especially if you're new. Be really careful. Don't trust anyone in this system. I mean, if I send you a message asking for money, don't give it to me. That's like rule number 1. If I send you a message or Corey sends you a message asking for money, do not give it to us. I mean, if any reputable person for any project in the EOSIO space asks you for money, go into their public channel. Number 1, and drop a message in there. Call them out in public. Say, Corey, did you just like request money from me, like in a DM? And tag us or any of those other people, and nobody will be offended by that. It doesn't matter whether you've got people in BP channels, people from high profile things. If you contact them in their public channel, they want to know this shit because they don't want scammers to come in and try to, scavenge off of their community. So yeah, that's not my rant. That's kind of like my speech of caution. A lot of people here already know it, But I'd like to put everyone on the mission to, spread this word, because crypto is about to get an influx of a whole bunch of new people. And we want them to come in and be safe. We want them to be their own bank. We want them to, not lose all of their money to people who are just trying to steal shit. So, let's be an amazing community, a brilliant community. It doesn't matter, whether you're from the NFT army, whether you're from the Ripple army, or, whether you're from, the Ethereum haters club. This is good for us all. Just, look after each other. All the good people unite, Anders, yes, I will definitely give you money. I have your DM. We can do it right here on the show. I will send you
right now. We'll just send you money because you're the leader of the cabal, and like we want to suck up.
Yeah.
Get on the cabal's good side, as it were. One sorry, I was just thinking about something completely and totally different. Having to do with spam. I actually just have to message Emily really quick. So sorry, I took myself on a little fucking trip there. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. Katsumoto, yeah, it sucks.
Oh, hey.
It's really, is Matt here?
No. Nelson was saying, hey, if you guys ask me for chirp coins, I'm going to send it to you. In the chirp thing, like in the chirp telegram, I had some.
That's a good point.
God, Morgan, I had some people volunteer to help out. New people show up. I'm sleeping half the time. I'm not always in there. And we set it up, a anti-spam thing, right? We actually set it up so that you don't start with 1,000 coins anymore, because people were just like rifling through new accounts and spamming all of our reward channels, right? Like they got a bunch of telos, they got whatever. So it's a big fucking problem. So now when you start, you don't get any coins, but you cut a telegram, you ask for them. And, I was giving people 50 coins to start out. And of course, like that, very quickly, I'm not going to be around all the time, whatever. So I said, okay, if anybody gives anybody, some new coins for me, just give them 50. Let me know you did it. I'll give you 60. Right. So just like a way to kind of gamify it. I keep asking them how many they've given away. They won't tell me. So I just give away coins to anybody who's helping at a rate that I hope is way more than they ever could give away. Because I'm so grateful for it. It just like it's been a really, really fun thing for the community. And Nelson is one of the one of the best at it. So huge shout out to you. You guys are freaking rad. And again, that's the whole community spirit. I can't remember which person we were talking about. I think it was on air, where the EOSIO specifically, right? But EOS was my first example of this. When I was trying to learn about it, and I was trying to spin up a node so that I could mint my own token, because like apparently you could do that or whatever. Going into the dev channels as I'm not a coder, I'm not a dev, like I'm an idiot. Like I wanted to see if I could do it, right? Everybody was so freaking helpful that it was just, that's always been kind of the way, right? Like we've been a community that's really, really interested in helping each other. And that's part of the other reason why I refuse to stop being, at least marginally bullish on EOS itself. There are projects that are talking about building on EOS, right? Yes, the price sucks, but price always sucks until it doesn't.
Yeah.
And that's when you want to be hungry.
It did forever. Look at Ethereum, just broke its all-time high, 2 days ago. It went from where it is now. Early. It went from where it is now down to less than $150 during the last bear. Like that, that. Look at the percent gain. And here's the thing: Ethereum's a second generation blockchain. EOS isn't. It's a third generation blockchain, right? So it's always going to take time to get these things.
Yep, I agree. And again, like to your point, when I always go back to the last cycle. So I think a historical analysis of crypto cycles, because we talk about, the bull market is always fun, a couple of years of crypto winter in between where it gets like really boring, whatever. Like this happens, it's happened a few times now. It's not our first rodeo. And people are like, oh my God, like Bitcoin's probably going to fall to zero now. Like, okay, you're new. Or thinking that it's capped out at, 40 grand. Like, no. That's like, if you go back, so the last cycle it topped out 2 cycles ago, it topped out at about 1,100, right? So on its way up to 20,000. So it topped out at 1,100. You're talking about, okay, Bitcoin's at 2,500 a couple months after hitting all-time high. This is 4 years ago, right? And you say, fuck it, it's not going to go any higher than that. You missed a 10x run. Like, that's how early we are right now. Like Bitcoin is $2,200 right now, right?
Yeah, I lost like, you know, 100 or maybe $200 on that Bitcoin Cash thing. Like that's a big cry from like something going to like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Dude. So as a Forex trader, I was like,
Yeah.
okay, Bitcoin charts started showing up like 2014, 2015 that I saw anyway. I think they were around before. I just hadn't seen them. And looking at the chart, I'm like, oh man, this coin's gonna bottom out at 200. There's a massive supply zone there, and then it's gonna start going up. And that's when I put 10 grand into Forex to start trading, and I almost put it in Bitcoin instead. I lost $1 million fucking dollars. Because that's what it would have been, right? Like it literally, you know, you know, a 10,000x return, or whatever it is, right? Like from 10 grand to $1 million, it hurts my feelings. 100x.
There's no way you could have known at the time. At the time, it could have went to zero. You know,
I was deciding whether to pull the trigger on one or the other, to the point where I had a conversation with my wife about it, and we're like, no, let's just go with the safer bet. So now whenever we talk about crypto, and like we talk about investing, just, you know, a little family or whatever, and we talk about, okay, well, which one is the safer bet? Bitcoin. Just put it in Bitcoin. Fuck the S&P 500. You want a safe bet? Put it in Bitcoin.
It'll be funny if Matt does show up, because I know Matt's got some stories about this. You know, like I think it's okay if I say this, but his partner like recently got into crypto and like just speculating on all the shit coins, and like actually did really well, like in a bear. He was like, God damn it. Like it was pretty funny. You know, we all get speculating and we all get trading. And here's something, again, I want to say, I'm overtly serious today, but I'm a little bit, you know, in one of those moods. Stop taking trading advice from people on the internet, kind of like especially people on Twitter. Like if you want to follow people that prove and verify their trades. Like, I mean, you can listen to us, but like we're not necessarily going to be right. One of my favorite people in the space to listen to actually is a guy by the name of Eric Crown. He basically built a, you know, app tracking YouTube thing. He started with a very small amount. He runs programs, he runs courses, he's a Arca stock exchange trader that got into crypto early on. He does a live show every day. He's one hell of an attitude, and funny if you can deal with, like, you know, like 10 times more over the top Saturday Night Live comedy type of stuff. Like he's really direct, but you know, he offends people. But at the same time, I'm sure I offend people too. But yeah, like follow people like this that are actually showing their trades, verifying their trades online. Don't just follow someone on the internet that is going to give, you know, things away. Like a good example of this, and if you like him, that's great. But a good example of this is Tone Vays. Now I can't verify that this is true, so I might be wrong. But I heard that in recent times, Tone Vays actually hasn't been trading. He's been calling price predictions. He's been giving things. But if someone's not putting their own money on the line, you shouldn't be listening to them. And no disrespect to Tone Vays, but if you're not putting your own money on the line, then don't listen to these people, you know?
Anders, tell me that wax address is real.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it.
That's so awesome. Oh, I'm sending you like 3. I don't care if it's real. Hopefully these are not going to the ether, but I'm sending 3.
They can't go to the ether, can they? I thought EOSIO you couldn't send a non-existent address.
Yeah, no, you're totally right.
Yeah, so that's another good thing about it.
That is actually really good. So we're gonna find out. Boom. Transaction confirmed.
Nice.
I fucking love you, dude.
That's really awesome.
So I actually listed on that post you were talking about, and that post that the NFT Army put up, right, with the like, you could do that, but you don't have to. You could do this, but you don't have. And that's like, people always say, like, how do I confirm to you that I did it? I'm like, I don't care. Like, I choose to trust you. Yeah. And it's always been a better move. I'm not gonna spend the time to make sure you fucking retweeted. No. It's so much better to just be like, hey, if you want to do these things, that's awesome. Definitely want to post your wax address, because if you don't do that, then, you know, we can't give you anything. So I loved it. And they had like 200 retweets, you know, 300 likes. Like, you know, that post did really well, up to the point where I shared it with the Uplift marketing team. Like this is an interesting way to do things that, people are, it's better. And I feel this kind of viscerally, right? It's better if you let people do the thing because they want to do the thing, right? And then, just do the giveaway, do whatever it is you want to do. I totally dig it. Like for the sharing thing here, like ask everybody to share, post your wax addict. I love seeing the tweets or the comments about where you shared. That's always really, really fun. But if you don't, we're not going to look. I just want to give stuff away, right? And give back to the community that is hanging out with us. It's really cool. So anyway, sorry, rant over.
We might have had a Costa crypto sighting.
What?
Yeah, and it was like I missed it, so it was about like 7 minutes ago. So we'll see if we can get him on. Unfortunately, things like this happen, and we can't get angry at people for it. We all live in weird places, and sometimes internet and stuff goes out. We're totally level from two nights ago, because you just had what I presume to be a brilliant rant there, but I totally wasn't listening to it.
All my best stuff. Although every once in a while you do listen back, so you can let me know if that was actually a valuable rant or if I was just talking on my ass. There are amazing.
That's a really good point that I want to bring up. I try every week, every episode, when I'm on my way to my real world job, to listen to as many of these back as I can, and make sure that the information that we are giving you is good, or if we missed any questions, or what we can include on our next post. So if Corey brings stuff up, or if we put stuff in the comments, we'll try to get them to you. But in the post below, all of our videos, there's ways that you can reach out to us. There's an email that you can get in touch with us. There's various things in there, so you don't have to read it every time, but read it once, and if you want to reach out. So, and sorry, Corey, can I cut you off too? Because I want to go back to something before I forget. And I just want to say one more thing to Katsumoto. He said in the comments, it happened to me a few days ago. I lost my Tron wallet and everything in it a few days back, just because I was curious. And this is a really good point. This in a different way, it's happened to me as well. It's happened to us all. I thought I was a grand speculator at one point in time, and I thought I found like the biggest arbitrage opportunity like ever. And I spent like a bunch of money on like this transaction on the Ethereum network, and I sent it from one exchange to another exchange, and Ethereum's so damn slow that it wasn't working, it wasn't going through, and I saw a number moving, and I'm like, oh damn it, I got to do it again. I did it again. OKX, but OKX, I think. And maybe not. Okay, hit BTC. Sorry, I don't want to give them the wrong. Hit BTC, and so I sent it again, and then I realized that like there were 2 coins by the same name, and so I contacted them, and I'm like, these are both Ethereum coins. Can I get my coins back? And they're like, no, sorry, you sent them into the ether. I'm like, it's your ether. You can reach in there and give them back. They're like, sorry, it's a lot of work. So this kind of
setting
stuff.
That one line of code up that says, if this address doesn't exist, don't send to here. Right, yeah. Like that, and that I take that for granted now in Wax. Like I try to send it to something, and I because we doing this all the time. Like usually at least once an episode, there's like somebody will do like a little typo or whatever it is. Right, not a big deal, but I find out immediately because it doesn't work.
I mean, somebody should just scour the internet for all of these like lost addresses that people have sent to, and like open accounts. So there'll be accounts worth millions of dollars. I don't know if that's how that works, but it seems like it would make
probably
sense.
Not, but it sounded good. It sounded like right at our level of technical knowledge. By the way, I did want to mention and we sort of talked about it before. And I just like Beer Belly, nice name, by the way. I love it. Yeah, I resemble this comment. So we'll talk about this in a minute. But yeah, right, nailed it. And I totally forgot where I was going. So yeah, the EOS token price. Like we talked about it a bunch. Long story short, in my personal opinion, it's sitting at a floor it's hit all year. Basically, it bounces off like 250-ish. A bunch of times. There are announcements going on by big players planning on doing work in the space, which is interesting. Smaller players are pulling shoot. That's usually a sign to me to get in. Again, if it's on a floor, you're basically making a bet. If it's 60% likely to go up instead of down, then that's sort of one of my personal things where like, yeah, you can kind of load up on it a little bit. Is it going to $5 or is it going to $20 this cycle? We don't know. Is it going to 100? That, much weirder things have happened. If speculators get a hold of this, and really like what they see coming out news wise, then all bets are off at that point, right? Like if you have huge capital flows coming in, EOS could go freaking bananas. Crazier things have happened. DOT is going bananas and producing, again, from what we've seen. This is why we want to have Matt on. It's not doing the number of things in the sort of real business activity that we see on EOS even now, right? Even with all the things we justifiably had to complain about EOS mainnet, there's still shit going on there, right? Like Vigor's going on there. That on its own is really, really interesting.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to hear, what DOT has that's going on. But like DOT's pushing $20 now. So, what are you gonna do?
Well, and we're gonna have to get some experts on here at some point for DeFi, and I think we're gonna get some lined up. But here's the thing, right? Like this, you always say, Corey, that where we are now is so different from where we've been in the past in many respects. And one of those respects actually is DeFi. What's happening in DeFi in all of the spaces? This isn't just EOS, right? But you can be your own bank in the sense that you can put your coins up for collateral and you can take out a loan. And you don't have to trade. You don't have to do all these things, day trade. If you like day trading, you're good at it, go for it, right? But like you don't have to sell your coins at the top or at the bottom. Obviously there's risk to it, but be careful. Don't over leverage yourself and get liquidated. But yeah, I think there's a lot of potential. I don't know how to answer that question personally. I think that was a brilliant answer that you gave. Sorry.
I said thanks. I'm here all week. I'm going to make that joke a lot. I just want to apologize to everyone. That joke's probably going to come out of my face once a day. Like anytime I do anything that's even remotely useful.
I like it. Sorry. But yeah, like if where were we?
I'm sorry, dude.
No, that's okay. 100%. So here's the thing, right? Like I've kind of got a problem with Apple, right? Like the first Apple phone I bought, like I remember like I was trying to build a fire and there was a rock and it was too big and like I broke it with my iPhone because that's how awesome the first iPhones were. I mean, not from a
you could also use it for like chiseling, for napping flint.
Yeah. And like, yeah, now my wife calls me 3 times and my screen cracks, It's like, but here's the thing, right? Like think about how overpriced iPhones are, like in comparison to some Androids that are out there on the market. And so we say we want EOS to go to like $1,000 a coin. Do we really want EOS to go to 1,000?
Yes.
Just a minute. Do we really want EOS to go to $1,000 a coin if it means that the network isn't being used? Right. And
hold on. And the network is being used. I don't understand the dichotomy. Why would those things be correlated? Sorry, I'll let you finish your point. But like, if Wax goes to $1,000, the network's gonna get fucking used. Just saying that right now. That's just.
Yes, Wax is a little bit of a different story though.
Sorry, I meant EOS, but definitely Wax too. Not that Wax is my baby and I love it, but it is, and I do.
What I'm saying is like we see these price movements that, like, again, don't listen to me. As Corey says, he's just a guy on the internet. But as prices go up, right? Like, I'm having trouble like explaining what I'm trying to say, but like what I'm trying to say is not what I'm saying. Like what I'm trying to say is sometimes the most usable network is the network that is the most stable, right? Like at some point in time, crypto will become the new fiat, I think, where everyone will be using it. If you have a cryptocurrency that's bouncing all over the place, those are going to be great cryptocurrencies to speculate on. Those are going to be great cryptocurrencies to use for trading, or to use for, gold 2.0 or any of that stuff. The network that, mainstream infrastructure is going to use are going to be your more stable assets.
No, absolutely not. It's not true. Here's the reason why. The only thing that, and I shouldn't say the only, because I mean that volatility is awesome in and of itself. If you want stability, you can already get USDT on EOS mainnet. If you want a stable coin, buy a fucking stable coin, right?
Yeah,
but here's the thing: if EOS goes to 1,000, it just means that everybody that was in the space is getting rewarded for doing that. The transaction costs are still going to be kind of similar, right? And now, granted, like way more people using it, the transaction cost might go up a little bit, but there's also going to be more block producers. Like I think that scales, and they're also starting to get smart finally, and they're embedding all the transaction costs behind the apps, basically making the dApps run that themselves, which they always should have done anyway. It's ridiculous putting that on the user. I'm sorry, what's happening? What's going on with you?
That stable coin is not stable. Tether is not stable. I mean, it's stable.
It's stable enough. Nobody got EOS because they wanted it to be stable. Like that argument just doesn't hold any water.
Hear me out, right? Hear me out. It's not like, yes, it's stable in the outside world. It's stable, but that it's not stable. I mean, if Bitcoin goes to $1 million, but a loaf of bread costs you 100, then yeah, it's good, but it's not as good as if Bitcoin goes to $1 million and the price of bread doesn't change. You know what I mean?
The price of bread is not correlated to the price of EOS. So or Bitcoin, like it's correlated to the dollar, and the dollar has its own problems. Whatever.
I'm saying, like you have to correlate everything to the buying power, right? And the amount of inflation that's coming through, the amount of things that are coming through, right? Just because you see your coin go through the roof, right? To $1 million, right? Like to $1,000. I mean. So a really good example is if you look at the chart, there's a really good example, right? Ethereum has moved, and that's great for Ethereum users and people who are holding Ethereum, and I hope some of you are. Ethereum has moved, but on the BTC comparative, on the Bitcoin comparative, it is still down on the gains that BTC is.
Let's dial right into what you were talking about though, because I still like I'm open to being.
We've never done this before. We've never had a debate on the air.
I'm open to being wrong about this, but I don't think that I am. Like when it comes to inflation, the biggest thing about Ethereum, and this is like more people getting in when it moons, when there's a lot more attention on it, whatever. The transaction cost skyrockets really quickly. Well, that's because its throughput is like 5 guys on a wagon every minute, right? Its ability to do many transactions a second is very tiny, which is why the price goes up. Ethereum was designed in the beginning to handle thousands at least, if not tens of thousands, and to be able to increase its capacity and scale, right? So obviously CPU is a problem, and transaction costs are a problem, but transaction costs are starting at micropennies. And staking, and the fact that dApps are going to be able to stake decent amounts of EOS to handle more traffic, right? EOS goes to $1,000. Let's say we 100x or 1,000x the number of people that are using the network. There's a really good argument that you as a user still never see the transaction cost at all. So hold on. So milk is still free to the user. You never see it. There is no inflation at all. The price has just gone up, making everyone fucking happier. And when you get into it, and that doesn't mean that it can't drop, because it totally can, and freaking yippee, because last time I checked, Tether was still around 98 cents, and I don't really give a shit if I want to get out.
Yeah, but why would multi-million dollar organizations invest in EOS at $1,000 for infrastructure capabilities when they could invest in Wax for $500 and get the same power? Or when they could invest in Ultra for $200 and get the same power, or when they
this is a fun question. There's a lot of really good reasons for this, and the thing is, if they're smart, they would diversify, right?
I would 100% agree, right?
Right. So, but at the same time, for your large companies specifically, why are they getting into Bitcoin and not Ethereum? They get it. Other big companies are doing it and proving that it's okay to their shareholders, and Bitcoin has the perception of being very, very stable. Again, go find the image of the annual lows, commit it to memory, right? And you see that. So if you're a big company looking at adding something volatile to your balance sheet as a hedge against inflation, again, that's most of the people that are companies that are getting into Bitcoin are basically suggesting that. It's not dumb in any way, shape, or form. It's actually pretty smart. Then your bet on EOS is, will there be more people using it and more demand for this token next year than this year? And if you as a company can say yes, you buy it, right? And that knowing that there's going to be fluctuations, knowing that crypto winter is coming, doesn't matter, right? Because you can look at the historical analysis of this and see that it's going. Now, you have to believe, and as a company, bring in a lot of evidence for the fact that there will be more users. Again, I've said this a million times, and somebody prove me wrong if you can, and I don't think you'll be able to. You could times the number that you can get the value of any token by the number of active wallets and the number of meaningful transactions going on in that network. The network effect of money literally turns into its value, right? And so as long as those metrics are going up, which has always been the case for Bitcoin kind of year over year, right? The price is going up, and everyone can see that. So like, yeah, having a stable coin when there are stable coins, it just doesn't make any sense.
And you know, we all fall into our fallacies, and I just realized that I fell into one too. You know, I'm a philosopher at heart, and I like to, you know, have little debates and argue like this. But Beer Belly brings up a great point, which I always point out on Twitter myself, so I'm a little bit ashamed that I forgot about it. People can rent resources on EOS for a fraction of the price. So with the new resource model, and that's a great point, Beer Belly. And like, this is the thing, like, EOS is one of the only chains that can be done, and sometimes we forget that we actually do it. I mean, if you have enough staked, or you're using something like Token Pocket or Blocks.io that provide free transactions, then you know, with smaller accounts, you might not even have to rent the resources that you need. And when the new resource model comes out, yeah. So thank you for reminding me. And again, like, I'm not saying that I know everything. I'm just saying, like, for me.
Wait. You don't?
Does that mean I'm off the show? Is that what happens?
Yeah, it's over now. I was sold a bill of goods that you knew everything. Sorry. All right. Anyway.
No, but I'm not saying like, you know, EOS shouldn't go to $1,000. I'm not saying they can't go to $1,000. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I guess I'm kind of tired of people just wanting things to go to the moon just because they bought them, like, without actually looking at the usability and things like that. Like, so it's kind of like, and like you said, like, diversify. Like, the majority of my portfolio is in stuff that I believe is stable. So I'll let you piece that together. That's not a huge portfolio, but I mean, you know, if you have a coin on the fringe that goes from 1 cent to $1, or goes from, you know, what's EOS now, $3 to $20, that's great. If it goes from $3 to $100, that's great. If it goes from $3 to $1,000, that's great. Do I think that it's going to go to $1,000 this cycle? No, not at all. It could. I don't think it will, though. I mean,
yeah, I don't.
In 3 or 4 cycles down the road, right? Do I think it's going to get back to its all-time high this cycle? I think it should. If it doesn't, there's more problems with the community sentiment than we realize. I'll just say that.
Yeah, like $1,000 is crazy, right? Like, to me anyway. Like, I just really don't think that would be the case. And we'll, you know, we'll see kind of what that looks like. But I mean, that, you know, if we see, I guess, like, you know, and this is crypto, right? Because, like, I always think about it as, like, is it likely that an active project will hit its all-time high in the new sort of crypto cycle? Yeah. Right. If it's still going on, like, there's a decent, like, it's a good bet, right? And we don't know, and there's like a million different factors, caveat, whatever, blah 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 blah. But, you know, EOS hitting $20, if it did that this cycle, wouldn't surprise me.
No,
it hasn't happened yet, but that doesn't mean that it won't, because again, we're like in the first quarter of a 4-quarter game.
I think the more interesting question is, how long do you think this cycle is going to last? Because I think we're going to be in this cycle for a long time. You know, they get longer, they get deeper, they get bigger.
That's what she said.
Yeah. You're on fire tonight, mate.
I mean, dude, you set me up like that. I'm just like, I feel like I'm playing T-ball right now.
But I'll listen to that back, but I'm pretty sure there was a couple things in there that didn't quite work anatomically, but
yeah, no, they don't have to work. It just has to be fun to say. That's
so NFTs are stable. I showed the missus an NFT today. I don't know whether it's true. I didn't verify it. I don't even know if it's on Wax or some other network. It was basically The Simpsons drawn on a piece of paper, like what maybe a 5 or 6-year-old would draw. And for some reason, every single character had like no less than 4 tits. Like teats, like a cow, and apparently this sold for like $230,000. Like, I'm gonna give my daughter a crayon and put it on the blockchain and see what happens. I'm pretty much at that point now.
Okay.
Like, you're 100% right. NFTs are like crazy stable, and I think NFTs, they're always going to be. Anders said this in the comments. They're always going to be worth what. And I shouldn't tell Anders. Anders should tell me what to think about NFTs realistically,
or any of this stuff. Yeah, exactly.
but I think they're always going to be stable. But at this time, like, how Anders was on our show last week, I guess, and he mentioned like it's exciting with the DeFi and the things that are coming in. So we're definitely going to bookmark that, and I want to hear your take the next time you join us, which hopefully will be soon on a Media Moguls Day. I would assume next month. We're going to schedule him in again.
All right, I like it.
Do you want to talk about what's coming up next week? Let's do a quick rundown. I guess Matt had some serious crisis, like you do sometimes. So
okay,
maybe he missed my message. I'm not gonna tell you what his crisis is, because that's his story to tell, not mine. But tomorrow is exciting. We got Bonds Manifest from prospectors, and
there's tons going on there too in that space.
So they're doing the first Boomtown on Wax.
Boomtown,
which is basically.
Do you watch Letterkenny as a Canadian?
I've seen it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, wait, dude, those guys are from my hometown. One of those guys is from. I shouldn't tell my hometown. Those guys are from my hometown. Funny. Yeah, they're really funny. I agree.
Oh my god. If you don't watch Letterkenny, you should.
Yeah. Canadian comedies are funny. I mean, I kind of I want to know what other people's comedies are like. But Canadian comedies are good. Like, this hour has 42 minutes. I mean,
if
it wasn't taken, we would have named our show that.
Yeah.
Well, probably more like this hour has 208 minutes, but.
So I'm playing with. Don't be like that.
Okay, so while you do that, I'll give a quick rundown.
No, I'm just playing with I'm playing with Vigor right now.
Nice. Vigor, we got to get somebody on here from.
Yeah, we really do, because I don't know enough about this at all.
Yeah, it's a cool platform, and maybe we can even do a demo sometime. I can share my screen and we can do something.
We should just set up a test account and just do like a super hot wallet
And I know I know a couple people we can pull in that could probably give us a demo, but I got to check before I throw their name out there, because I don't want to put them on the spot. So, Bonds Manifest, come tomorrow if you're interested in gaming. Boomtown's a really cool idea. Basically, everyone starts with nothing, and they've got to get stuff and then get out of there, and they've kind of got to figure out gamification on that. Next Monday. We won't go live, but we do have an episode, if you missed it, that you'll be able to watch back, basically explaining our BP series and exploring new lands in the Uplift with Corey the Sailor.
You'd think that wouldn't be as fun as it is, but it just is.
Yeah,
it's really fun.
Yeah, and like some surprises in there. And I mean, we digressed into some pretty fun personal stories after that, but I think you'll enjoy it. We don't always have to be serious. One of the other reasons that we don't really need a BP and chill day on Monday is on Tuesday we are going to be joined by Yves LaRose of EOS Nation, talk about some really cool technical stuff that they're putting together in the ecosystem. On Wednesday we've got something really cool lined up for our Media Moguls. We're going to have the New Kids on the Block on our channel. Now, the New Kids on the Block are crypto people who are above and beyond EOS, but they do talk about EOS, and they just recently released a board on DWeb where you can go on there, and they've got a New Kids on the Block kind of stable coin that's pegged to $1 that you can tip and get tips and give out stuff. So we kind of want to hear about that. And they're just a really cool I'm guessing British couple that I've kind of been following for a while, and I think we'll learn a lot. They've got some cool stuff, and we've got some cool stuff coming out that day as well. Next Thursday we've got a few options. We haven't nailed it down and finalized it yet. And I believe next Friday is Crypto Monkeys.
Yeah, that's gonna be good too.
So yeah, that's our week in gold. So yeah, I think it's good to just kind of wrap it up. But before we do, I like that you're playing with Figure. It's good. It's kind of smart. It's like, you can go in there and not financial advice, but you can go in there, you can deposit some collateral, you can take out some coins, you can, go somewhere else. You can use those coins to do shit. And then
I just want to lend like everything.
Yeah, and then you can come back, and then you can, pay back your loan, or you can like lend coins. Yeah, lend cones.
Let's just lend those cones.
You can lend coins to other people, not coins. You can lend crypto assets on the EOS blockchain to other people, and they can take out loans. And then they've got a pretty good spread right now, and some pretty legit projects. It's like not very many. I don't think there's any spammy projects on there. So at present, I believe they've got EOS, they've got VIG, they've got Vigor. They've got PBTC. I believe they have PETH. They've got Everpedia, or the IQ token, and maybe a stable coin, I think, but maybe not. I forget. I haven't been there a while.
Yeah, they got a ton on here. They got yeah. Anyway, sorry, I totally started thinking about two different things at once, and that never ends well. So
really, I usually can't keep a clear thought unless I've got like randomness running around in the back of my head.
It's weird, right? This is maybe one of the reasons why we get along, because like, and it drives my wife nuts, but I have information coming into my brain parts at all times.
Yeah.
Like I'm doing other stuff or whatever. And like, if I, even if I'm, it's actually, so it's a little bit different if I'm, doing some sort of like hard stuff, like doing the surveying is all kind of math based, and my error rate is really terrible if I have other stuff going on. Like if I really have to concentrate on something, I'll just, clamp noise canceling headphones on. But most of the stuff, it's like I need to have some news over there and some articles over here and some tunes probably, and then then you can get down to the nitty gritty.
Yeah,
that or I've lost my mind, which is totally possible.
That's fine. So I have a question for you, just like a personal question. So because I think like for me, then what it is like I'm kind of like a bit of a jerk, because like if other people aren't listening to me because they're doing something else, like I can kind of tell that they're not listening to me, and then I get frustrated, and then they're like, well, you're doing other stuff and you're listening to me, and it's like, yeah, but I'm not you, like I'm me. That's like
I'm the Jimmy D. I've heard that.
It's like a really bad Superman complex, but but the friends in my life are great, because the friends in my life, they call me out. They call me when I'm talking shit. Like it's great, right? One of the first conversations you and I ever had off camera, which made me love you, was that you told me that my idea about being proven wrong was something that you aspire to in your life, and there's not very many people that do that. The people in the comments, people that are listening, if we're wrong, freaking tell us, man. We want to know.
Yeah, legit.
There's nothing worse than walking, through a supermarket with like, ketchup on your face. I hate ketchup, by the way. I don't eat it, but it's a good example. With ketchup on your face and nobody telling you, right? Like, and so like we want to know 100%. Yeah. Shout out to Danish Crypto in the comments. He said the drawing was Roland drawing the guys from Rick and Morty. So maybe that explains it. People buy things of well-known people for extreme amounts of money.
That is a thing that does occur.
How many episodes do you think we have to do to get to that level of famedom?
I mean, do I think it's possible for us to be at that level of famedom at the end of this bull market? Yeah, kind of.
So between 208 and 214?
Yeah, that's good math. That's good mathing on the fly there. That's solid work. I doubt I could have pulled that off, frankly.
That was awesome.
Oh, hey, speaking of Vigor, they got free tickets now, finally. Good job, you fuckers. Last time I was playing with this, I got hit by CPU, and that drives me like literally up the wall, because I still have traumatic memories of when Schipple died on the self-pwn of CPU problems. So on app.vigor.ai, they actually, if you get into the menu, you can actually do resources.freetix, TX. So that's cool. I haven't needed it because I actually stake some shit like a freaking adult, but it's still good to know.
Yeah, let's see if we can get somebody from Tech Talk on Tuesday to come and demo the platform. I mean, I know Bonds is involved as well, but I kind of want to hear about Boomtown.
Yeah, that actually, I originally had him on Chirpcast to talk about Vigor, and we just talked about prospectors for an hour and a half. It's like I didn't know he was involved with that, and so we just talked about that because it was real fun. It was real fun. Yep.
Yeah. But I guess, I think we can probably wrap this up. We've been going for a little over an hour, and it was fun. I mean, I enjoyed, getting told that I was crazy. It's always good.
I think, and again, like, let's sort of earmark that because there's like that. This will evolve, and we're going to get new evidence on it, right? Yeah. But I have seen no evidence that the price of EOS mooning wouldn't be anything but fucking really good for this space.
I'm just I honestly don't know. I'm just saying that it doesn't have to moon to be effective. That's all I'm saying. I mean,
I agree with that. It doesn't have to moon to be effective. I do agree with that.
Yeah.
But would it be better if it did? Yep.
Well, for us, yes, 100%. I'm not denying the fact. Like, I'm not a sadist. I'm not like, oh, I really hope the price doesn't moon so I don't.
No, we don't want EOS to go to 1,000. Like literally, the show it goes from 15 concurrent viewers to 5. I'm like, they are crazy people.
Well, I think we would just. I thought about this actually. This is how my mind works. I spent like an hour and a half before I gave up, like kind of randomly half thinking about this in the back of my head. I thought, how can I like morph EOSIO Weekly into an acronym that would make sense if we have to port over to talking about other chains?
Well, I mean, EOSIO is always, I think like there's going to be enough to talk about in this space that we're not going to get bored. And obviously, it's not a hard and fast rule. Like just with NFTs alone, we've got lots to talk about. So I don't think we're going to have to. But I mean, that acronym would be interesting anyway.
Yeah, it would be good. So.
Hey, did you hear that tune those weirdos made is going to be on Spotify pretty soon? No big deal.
I think I know that logo somewhere. From somewhere.
Right? Well, and yeah, we just decided to go with the whole uplift art band. So I guess I am in a band, but I couldn't be in a band with somebody better than M Blue, frankly, because like collaborating with him has been the easiest musical thing, and quite frankly, has produced what I think is the best music that I've ever been a part of in a recording space. It's just a joy, frankly. Like we're just inspired and creative, and we just like blast stuff like crazy. That's what she said. And yeah, that's it. Anyway, I don't know if I shared the audio, so I don't even know if that would work. So I'm gonna try that again. And then maybe we should get out of here. Like go do something with our day or something.
Yeah, I'm totally down. I'm totally down.
All right. And for anybody who hasn't heard this yet, what comes after this in this tune is so freaking good, and you won't hear it. And pardon me is sad for you, and the rest of me isn't. Actually, I'm just all sad for you. I think it's real. What do we got going on tomorrow?
I'm not the bubble.
Bonds, right?
Yeah, Bonds manifest.
I'm not the bubble.
Yeah.
I'm not the bubble.
This is such a tease.
I'm not the bubble.
I'm
not the